Hello, my name is Jasmine C. Leva, and I'm an independent filmmaker. And I am working, I'm about to get revved up for my next independent film. And I thought, wait, why not just make some videos, some do's and don'ts as I go along so I can help the next man who might want some tips on how to make films on a very low budget, because that's usually what I'm working with. So where I want to start, filmmaker, camera. So for my last film, I shot with a Canon 5D Mark III. Now, how do you choose what camera you're going to use for your production? Well, there are a few factors. Since I was doing this independently, one, I had to get a camera that was within my budget. So a few years ago, this camera was about $3,000 with, I don't know if the lens was included. I think it might have been just the body. But the reason why I chose this camera was because I worked on a few professional productions in the industry. And even when I went to see Who's Got Talent, America's Got Talent, I saw that they were shooting with the Canon 5D Mark III. Now, I can't afford the lens that they used, but I could afford the body of the camera. And then I did my due diligence, went on YouTube just to see how the footage looked. And I was just like, okay, this looks very good. What I did not account for was the fact that even though I went to school for film and television, my specialty was not camera work. I was more in story. I learned how to use a camera, but I didn't master being on behind the camera. So I found focusing, especially for objects that kept moving, I found focusing to be very, very tough. Now with my work, I wanted to get better and better and better each go round. So the last go round, I did notice a few of the shots, because I wasn't great at focusing, were a little soft. So now I want to pick out a new camera, and I want to make sure that it's a camera for people like myself who do not know how to focus as well. So this go round, I'm going to be getting a Canon 90D. Now I arrived at this camera because, one, I always have a price range. I'm not Warner Brothers Studios, so it's not, oh, let me this $40,000 for this red cam setup. No, not even happening. The Canon 90D, I found a great package for about $1,500. One of my production consultants told me, the lens that already comes with the package is really great. And when you get feedback for what kind of lens you should use or what kind of camera you should use, make sure you're talking to a trusted source. I would also recommend you talk to more than one person. You can get on YouTube and it can show, you can watch videos for how the camera shoots under different conditions. And you can also get on websites like Amazon and read reviews for the camera. Good and bad, read them all. So I guess that is the first step. So picking out your camera, and just remember, you want something that's catered towards you. So for me, if I know that my weakness is I don't know how to focus that well, then it makes sense for me to look for a camera that has the best autofocus. And the reason I decided to go with Canon is because since I already started my collection with Canon, I have a Canon T4i Rebel, I have the Canon 7D, and I have this Canon 5D. So that way, everything that I used for these cameras, well, for the 5D and the 7D, I can also use them on the new camera. So I can still use my lenses, I can still use my batteries, battery chargers, and I don't have to break the bank getting a whole new setup for a whole different brand camera. So think about that. Also, depending on what you want to shoot, when you're researching the best camera to use, make sure you know what kind of things you're going to be shooting. Say you want to do some kind of show like Are You Afraid of the Dark back in the day, right? So for that show, in the beginning, it would always start out at nighttime over campfire. So then that means you need to look into cameras that shoot really good under low light conditions, especially if you're an amateur. So really think about the types of things you're going to be shooting and research cameras that excel in the areas that you are looking for. So that is my, this could be like my masterclass. I'm gonna call this my masterclass. Okay, guys, this is the masterclass tip that was the masterclass tip for finding your camera.